Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Zagorsek, COO of SoundHound. At SoundHound, we offer our voice AI platform, Houndify. We're an independent provider of custom voice assistants using proprietary technology, speech to meaning, deep meaning understanding. And brands can really extend their products and services through voice, keeping customer relationships, data, and insights, and really have a future of monetization. And this is what we're going to be talking about here today and how the customer experience works with monetization. We're privileged to work with partners across industries, Mercedes and Hyundai in automotive, Pandora, Snapchat, and apps, and increasingly in IoT and global markets, thanks to our language expansion over 22 languages and reach. Really excited to present to you today and look forward to the session. So kicking off our presentation, excited to talk to you about how voice experience can deliver convenience and generate revenue. So it's really that mix that I just talked about of customer experience and monetization. Stepping back, why are we where we are? Really, the world itself is evolving into a voice-enabled reality, and voice AI is creating the next disruption. And the timeline that we like to look at is going back to the 80s, how computers with keyboards, mice, and screen became ubiquitous in the 80s, and suddenly every company needed a website as the internet came online. With mobile in the 2000s, new forms of interface, IoT, touchscreen, and of course, companies suddenly need a mobile presence, whether it was an app or a website. And we really feel that we're in this world where voice AI is coming to fruition. And we're really talking about hands-free and ambient interactions, and really that every company today needs a voice strategy and a path towards its own central voice AI. But the important thing about this innovation, this progress, is that these interfaces didn't replace the previous one. They're integrated and multimodal. So now companies have greater choice in how they interact with customers. When do they want a voice first experience? When do they want a voice enabled experience? What's better on mobile and computer? So we're really creating a richer world of interaction here. Speaking of ubiquitous, everywhere you look, there's a new stat that's emerging about how voice AI has really moved into the customer sphere, but specifically around customers as well. So over 2/3 of companies have deployed voice assistant technology. 84% with voice assistant have a voice-enabled app, so they're already looking cross-channel. Over 1/3 of brands have added customized voice AI to their websites, and almost half have embedded customized voice AI into their products as well. So we're seeing that trend continue, and the number and the penetration is already significant. So speaking about our role in all of this, in this evolution and the ubiquity of voice assistants, our vision is really 4 parts. One is to create a voice AI platform that exceeds human capabilities. When you think about early forms of AI, humans used to be able to beat computers in chess. Now computers beat humans in chess. However, when humans talk to computers using their voice, they use simple, basic keywords. But we know that voice AI can drastically exceed what it can do today, and we're on a path to delivering that so that you can have a conversation with the platform as you would another person. The key here, though, is that it has to deliver value and delight to end users, right? We can't force this upon them. They have to have an experience that feels natural and seamless. And what that'll do is it'll create proliferation, right? An ecosystem with billions of products that you can talk to, each with their own personalities, experiences, and brand expressions. And ultimately, innovation and monetization are key, right? Allowing companies to use voice AI to innovate what they offer and offer new services they couldn't before, but also reap the benefits for their business as well. So, really these key themes are a platform that delivers value, building an ecosystem, and those monetization opportunities. These are some of the themes we'll talk about today. So let's talk about delivering value and what that means. Voice AI has to deliver value. If it's just technology for technology's sake, ultimately it won't leave the lab and make it into production. Thankfully, we're already starting to see it. So for consumers, what are they getting? They're getting interaction from anywhere, the safety of hands-free control, instant access to information without having to pick up a mobile phone or reach across the room for a physical interface. For businesses, you're extending your product capability. So all of a sudden, the product and service that you have can now be accessed virtually anywhere with voice. You become more competitive because you're innovating in a new sphere, and better customer retention, better customer relationships, a more personalized relationship. But when we think about how we create value and what is that path towards true business success, we look at three specific layers. And because we talk a lot about voice AI and voice interfaces, but let's take a specific look at a specific example. And there's three. First, in the case we have a TV here, there's the idea of the core voice experience for a product. In this case, you can control the product. You can say things like go back 30 seconds or add this show to my favorites. These are quick interface points that add value. They're seamless and they deliver on the left-hand side. And we're already seeing tremendous traction here today. The next layer on top is this idea of expanded. So this is really connecting to the world around you. So when people think of smart assistants or IoT, we're really talking about this expanded sphere. So you can say, what will the temperature be at noon? Who won the basketball game last night? Really, the product you're talking to, that may not have been its purpose, but it has access to this information. And without a significant interface effort, you can add this product capability. But really, when you move to the outer ring, you can start creating really powerful monetizational moments and experiences. So you can then say, I'd like to order some pizza for delivery, or I need to order a sound bar for my bedroom. These are now transactional moments that are enabled. You really have to deliver the first experience really well for users to want to go to the second and then allow you to transact on the third. So these are some of the ideas that we'll perpetuate here throughout the presentation. And what we're really talking about here is this idea of evolving to voice commerce. So you go from commands to queries to transactions, and it's really this roadmap that will help voice AI reach its full potential. So stepping back and looking at the value, it's really a question of how much customer demand is there, and we're already seeing it trending in the right direction. In fact, just to pick a few stats, 43% of voice-enabled device owners use voice technology to shop, and well over half of users prefer to use voice assistants to search online rather than type. So we can pull together a number of stats and see that the behavior is there, the interest is there, and it's definitely growing. But when we think about how to achieve it, there's this idea of, do you have to interject transactions? Do you have to interject advertising opportunities into the experience? And the answer is you don't. They don't have to be disruptive. To quote our good friend Kame Sins, he says, whether you're in the process of implementing your strategy or just getting started to define a business case, if you think about the pain points customers have throughout the customer journey, the kind of conversations you can have that'll help, and the number of touch points that could be voice enabled, for many brands, even a minor percent increase in sales will be more than enough to justify the investment. The business case will write itself. So he's saying two really important things here. The first is, think about your customer pain points. How are you adding value to customers? And if you're adding value to customers, introducing the right transactional opportunity as a way to solve a customer pain point provides benefits to the customer and benefits the business. So it's really a question of how do we create that relationship between the customer and the business to offer that value. So really what he's saying is it's all about the customer experience, understanding their pain points and understanding how you can ultimately help them with this voice AI, this voice interface. And, taking a page out of, say, a marketing book and modifying it here, what are businesses trying to do? How are they trying to connect with customers? And the goal really is it's delivering the right message to the right customers at the right time. So if you're telling customers or giving them information that they don't want, it feels like an interruption. If you're helping them along the way because you know something about them, it's helpful. So it's really about being where your customers are. Make sure they can find your content when they want it and however they prefer to consume it. So this speaks to the multimodal approach between voice and other interfaces, but also finding those right monetizable moments because you're adding value to customers in a way that it doesn't feel transactional, it doesn't feel like business. We know that voice assistants are ubiquitous. We're living in a world surrounded by the power of voice and phones and smart speakers and apps. Customers are seeking answers. They're already asking questions about products and services to meet immediate needs. So when your customer's asking about the weather or they're asking where they can find things, they're looking to take action. And unintrusive voice commerce is really about helpful suggestions delivered at the right time and in the context to their queries. It's just about making lives more easier and more convenient. So what's the monetization opportunity? Well, we have two categories, and these are probably ones, if you've researched the space, you can identify. One is voice advertising. This, again, would be suggestions made in the right context, and then transactions. So this would be to make purchases specifically. And we had this flywheel effect, is that as users make inquiries and transact, you get more services and domains getting revenue from it. So new services are coming on board to platforms because they recognize that they can get new customers, new leads, and retain customers. And then, of course, through revenue share, products get more value, more revenue, and of course, the wheel continues as more and more users make more queries and transact. So we're really talking about these two categories. But the key thing here is going back to what we talked about, which is how to add value, how to make it seamless, and how to give customers these monetizable moments. So wanted to share a video we put together that shows how these things can work in action and bring together some of the themes that we've just been talking about.
We're living in a world surrounded by the power of voice. With Houndify, your voice assistant now delivers real revenue and unlimited possibilities for your users.
Start navigation for the fastest route home?
Sure, David. Starting route guidance. You'll arrive home at 6:30. Would you like to order dinner for delivery?
Sure. What about pizza?
Best Pizza has a promo. Any large specialty pizza for $12.99. Would you like to place an order?
What's their most popular item?
Their top-selling item is the combination with red sauce.
I'll have one of those, large.
Okay, anything else?
No thanks.
Great, I've submitted your order to Best Pizza and it should arrive by 6:40 p.m.
Proactive purchasing options unlock the revenue potential of IoT products, so your users get what they need in real time.
What's the next step?
Mix in 2 cups of milk and 3 tablespoons of butter. Looks like you're running low on butter. Should I add it to your grocery list?
Yes, please.
Great. Your list currently has 10 items. Would you like to place a delivery order with Food Shoppers?
Sure.
Please review your shopping list and confirm your order.
Order confirmed.
Great. I've placed your order with Food Shoppers, and your groceries should arrive at 5 p.m. With Houndify Voice Commerce, your interactive assistant can turn simple conversations into revenue-generating opportunities.
Will I need an umbrella in Manhattan next week?
There's no rain in the forecast next week in Manhattan. Do you need help with flight or hotel accommodations for New York?
Sure. Please show me round-trip flight options from SFO to JFK, departing next Monday morning and returning Thursday evening.
Premier Air has the lowest price and 2 options for your flight itinerary. Would you like me to book one or see other airlines?
Please book me 1 seat for option number 2.
I've booked your seat with Premier Air and sent a confirmation to your email.
Welcome to Houndify Monetization, where voice transactions bring revenue to your business. Unleash your earning potential and open up a world of purchasing possibilities with a custom voice assistant that boosts your bottom line. Powered by Houndify.
So you saw in the video multiple use cases, multiple industries, multiple scenarios. And the list is really long, and we could spend all day just talking about all the verticals could be impacted. Here are just 4 examples. In automotive, you can envision food ordering, booking service appointments, parking, filling the gas tank, finding a charging station. At home, whether it's on a TV or a speaker, you get grocery delivery, booking a car ride, finding travel deals. Smart home appliances can involve product refills, maintenance, requests, upgrades, and of course, we saw the travel experience in the video, making reservations, booking a flight. And each of these opportunities can either be a suggestion or a transaction or some combination of the both, and the list goes on. Looking at some corollary stats, we know that twice as many US adults have used voice assistants in the car as through a smart speaker. So the usage is higher, and that's the automotive use case, and the opportunity is big. Going down, we get hundreds of billions worth of projected transactions via smart home devices alone. And this is transactional. Almost half of smart speaker owners reported a willingness to shop. And of course, almost 50% of guests say their hotel selection is influenced by high-tech features and the ability to do things. So this really speaks to that cross-industry customer adoption, supporting some of the examples that we put out there. So really what's it about? It's about customer experiences that deliver real business value to the customer and the business itself. Quoting our good friend Bradley Metrock, he talks about how successful voice assistants create a platform from which companies can upsell. As conversational AI decreases transactional friction, more space opens up to increase per user revenue. So the idea here is that yes, the business term is upsell, but it's not in a traditional sense because it's a frictionless form of interaction. And then Dr. Bajorek, a voice AI pioneer, she really talks about how voice technology is integration rather than replacement. So you meet users where they're at, try one use case, learn from what they and how they use technology. And the ROI for voice is looking at user data and crafting high quality experiences. So it's really about tying ROI to the value that you're providing to users and meeting them where they are in a way that's going to deliver the value that ultimately can be monetized. We talked to companies. We actually co-sponsored a research with Opus and asked very specifically the question around monetization, and asked, what is the importance of monetization compared to other goals? And 64% of executives were prioritizing and are prioritizing monetization over other goals. They really see that creating this opportunity is a path towards added value and added revenue. And across industries, it ranges anywhere from 50 all the way to 75% and growing. So every industry is becoming stronger and more invested in this path forward. And the overall addressable market is massive. I mean, if you add everything up, you're looking at over $160 billion in market size across industries for voice AI integration, and transaction. And we know that more and more people are spending money via voice online. They believe that digital assistants will help them make purchases, and so on and so forth. So we know that monetization is the future of voice AI. We deliver on better customer experiences. We create new revenue streams. We create intuitive voice commerce. So what are some of the paths to get there? One of the things we've been focusing on is really investing in our technology platform to enable these conversational interactions. And so 3 technologies that I wanted to highlight that we provide: speech to meaning, deep meaning understanding, and collective AI. With speech to meaning, we're really talking about going from speech directly to that meaning that most platforms will do speech to text, text to meaning. By understanding what the user is saying even before they finished speaking allows for accuracy and speed, and really creates a much more conversational dialogue. When we say deep meaning understanding, it's really about parsing complex and compound statements. So people don't speak in short queries. They express themselves. They use negatives, sometimes double negatives. So if you're really looking for a hotel and you say, don't show me anything that doesn't have free Wi-Fi, virtually every other voice assistant will struggle with double negatives or exclusions. We really invested in technology that made it that much more conversational and encourage people to experience it. And lastly, collective AI is a vision that we have that starts pulling different domains together. Most people don't talk about one subject matter over another. So it's really about pulling different sources of knowledge together and creating exponential learning and understanding. And ultimately, what that requires is for organizations to really build voice assistants on independent platforms, investing in it, partnering with the right folks, because it allows for the branded voice experiences. So companies that have voice-enabled their products and services result in an extension of the brand. It's not about introducing a third-party assistant. It's about expressing yourself through voice. It strengthens customer loyalty. You want to get access to your data insights, something that we're really passionate about. And really, it enables customizable solutions, things that are unique to you, and innovation that's your own, not at the expense of someone else. Tying these things together, we believe, creates the right mix of skills in-house and through partnerships to move forward in a way that we think is really fruitful. So with that, thank you very much for hearing me out on this. We think there's a bright and interesting future in the world of customer experience and monetization, and we look forward to being a part of it.